Good morning. Welcome to Pike Creek Farm. My name is Renee, and if this is your first time here, welcome. Today I am making some cookies, yummy Christmas cookies, as part of Jeni Goff's Christmas cookie exchange that's going to be happening today. Lots of recipes out there, many different cookie recipes. And go check out Jeni's channel, Jeni's Scratch Made Kitchen. Trying to get my words out this morning. The recipe I'm going to make isn't the one I originally had planned. I had actually partly filmed one and I missed an important step in the filming. My camera glitched, so I got to redo that one. But today I am making a favorite that I used to make in the 1970s, late 70s when I was in high school. I'd make them for our family, and my mom had a ceramic shop and she would always have Christmas parties, and I'd make cookies for her Christmas party. I loved to bake and she didn't, so it worked out perfect. And the cookies I'm going to make are meringues, and they have chocolate chips in them. Sometimes I would use mint chocolate chips. You can use like the Andy pieces. I'm just going to do plain semi-sweet chocolate chips. That was what I used the most time, but the mint made it festive too when I would do that. And this was a recipe when I decided to do it the first time. My mom's like, well, these aren't real easy. And she explained to me how you have to cook them low and slow and till they get that perfect texture. And I have a cookie sheet with parchment paper on it. But back then, we would cut up, back then she would have me cut the brown paper grocery bags to fit our cookie sheets, and that's what I would bake them on in the oven. So I have my oven on 250 preheating, and I have 3 large egg whites that I have set aside, try and get them so they're not cold, and sugar, cream of tartar, vanilla, and the chocolate chips. That's all there is to this. And they're real pretty cookies, and they have crunchy on the outside and chewy in the middle. And so let's make chocolate chip meringue cookies. My mom never had a stand mixer like this, so I would have to use the hand mixer and just keep going until it was stiff peaks. So I'm going to see. I think this should make it a little bit easier. So we're going to add 3 egg whites that I've already separated. And how I do them is I just crack the egg and then go back and forth with the yolk until all the egg whites in the bowl. That's how I was taught. I know they have little gadgets you can use too. Now we're going to add 1/8 of a teaspoon of cream of tartar. That helps it to maintain its stability. So 1/8 a teaspoon cream of tartar. And we also need 1/8 a teaspoon of salt. There we go, 1/8 a teaspoon of salt. So now we're going to lower this, and we are going to turn it on and let it beat until it becomes frothy peaks that hold the peak when you lift up the whisk attachment. So, and I will probably turn the sound down because this is an old KitchenAid that I got, and it's kind of noisy, but it works great. Okay, let's check and see if it holds the peaks. And you just want it to hold soft peaks at this point because we're going to be adding the sugar. And you want it to become white and foamy. Oh. Now we're going to put it back down and put it on medium-high and gradually add 3/4 of a cup of sugar. You want it to take about 2 minutes or so to add the sugar. Just don't dump it all in. So I'm going to add a little bit and then get it going. Okay, so see how it's not moving? It is thick. It is holding the peaks. It's nice and glossy. So time to make the cookies. Now these cookies bake for 30 minutes at 250. Then you turn the oven off and let them sit for another 30 minutes. So here it is. Now you take 3/4 of a cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips, the mint chips. I've used mini before. I've used the Andy pieces. And I took out a couple tablespoons to dot the top, to decorate the top. But now we're gonna fold this in. We are going to just spoon them out onto this cookie sheet that has parchment paper. And like I said, we used to use the brown paper bags cut to fit the cookie sheet. The chocolate chips you had set aside, just put a few on each one. Let them press in a little so they stick. Mom had quite a few cookbooks, and there was a cookie cookbook. I'm going to do a recipe from that for another collaboration. And I just would love sitting there and reading all the recipes, especially cookie ones back then. Okay, these are ready to go in the oven. I will set the timer for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, I will turn it off and leave them in the oven for another 30 minutes. And I'll bring you back then. Here they are out of the oven. And now I'm going to set them someplace cool to cool off. Here's the finished cookies. They're crunchy on the outside. My chocolate chips aren't hardened yet. They stay nice and white by cooking them that way. And let's do a taste test. Chewy in the middle. Thank you for stopping by Pike Creek Farm. Thank you, Jenny, for organizing this. I love Christmas cookies. And if this is your first time here, I would appreciate if you would like this video, and if you want to see more videos on baking and vintage recipes and cooking, and I love to can, subscribe to my channel. See you next time at Pike Creek Farm.